Heartwarming transformation. Black CEO exposed as incredible investor after 20 minutes of denial. The stark contrast between Jamal's small café and the polished conference room chilled him to the bone. He poured his heart into that café. Every cup of coffee a tribute to memories spent with his father, who wore love in his apron and brewed warmth into every encounter. In those familiar walls, laughter was the special ingredient. But this day he stood amid crisp white walls and neat rows of suits, a world away from the bustling streets of Philadelphia where dreams were forged in gritty reality. Jamal was on the brink of something big. Selected to pitch for investors who often overlooked his neighborhood, his pulse quickened as he approached the panel. His mother's late-night shifts and his grandfather's worn-down hands flooded his mind. They believed in him. He couldn't let them down. Yet, self-doubt clawed at his insides like a hungry beast, ready to devour his aspirations. What if they dismissed him? Just another dreamer from a place they rarely acknowledged. As he began, words tumbled out of him with fervor. The cafe was more than a business. It was a community. A space for laughter, ideas, and growth. The investors fidgeted. He could sense their indifference, hear the whispers of skepticism. Jamal felt his heart sink. This wasn't just a pitch. It felt like a dissection of his life, watched closely by arrogant eyes that barely understood his truth. Then something unexpected happened. An older man, handsome with silver hair, leaned forward and locked eyes with Jamal. Recognition sparked in the air between them, channeling memories of loyalty and sacrifice. Jamal felt a flicker of hope ignite within him. This man had known his father, had fought alongside him in the community trenches. With a trembling voice he recounted stories of perseverance. It was a lifeline, and Jamal clutched it like a buoy in a stormy sea. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. He could see the panel beginning to lean into his story, shifting from mockery to curiosity. The atmosphere transformed, tension transformed into shared understanding. Jamal spoke not just of his dreams, but of his community's struggles, their laughter and resilience interwoven with his journey. As he shared his vision, he could almost feel his father's spirit walking with him, urging him on. Yet it wasn't enough to break through the clenching grip of doubt. Would the elder investor take the leap and champion his cause? The weight of potential lives rested on this moment. Jamal's heart thudded, each beat echoing the question that loomed over the room. Could his cafe, his homage to legacy and love, finally be respected as it deserved? The panel watched, breaths bated, as Jamal stood on the edge of transformation. What would come next? Would his story break the barriers to acceptance, or would it fade like too many before it? Jamal felt every gaze on him, each one a weight pressing against his chest. The silence stretched like an old rubber band, taut and electric. He wasn't just sharing a dream. He was sharing a piece of himself. As his story unfolded, the man with silver hair, Mr. Anderson, leaned back, folding his arms thoughtfully. Behind him, the others whispered among themselves, their faces a mixture of intrigue and disbelief. Jamal, Mr. Anderson's voice broke the suspense, smooth and commanding. You've painted quite the picture. But tell me, what makes your cafe different from any other coffee shop in the city? It was a fair question. Jamal's mind raced. He thought of the familiar faces behind the counter, the way they greeted everyone by name, how customers lingered, making plans or sharing dreams over steaming mugs. He cleared his throat, determination gathering in his spirit. It's not just coffee. It's a place where friendships are forged, where ideas can bloom. Every sip is part of a community story. The panel exchanged glances. Jamal's heart pounded as he waited for a reaction. However, doubt started to creep back in. What if it still wasn't enough? Mr. Anderson nodded slowly. And how do you plan to grow this community? How can we, as investors, be sure you won't fall into the traps many businesses do? This was the moment. Jamal stole a breath, channeling the essence of every late night, every challenge he'd faced. We need to build resources that uplift us all. I want to implement programs that empower our youth, workshops that teach skills, and partnerships that expand our reach. It's about investing back into our community. As he spoke, he saw the eyes of the panel shift, the body language inching closer. Was it hope he saw there, or merely polite interest? Then a young woman with bright red glasses chimed in. You mean to say you want to create a business model that focuses on social impact rather than just profit? Yes, Jamal replied, emboldened. I want to create spaces that encourage creativity and collaboration. We can revitalize our neighborhoods, inspire local artists, and bring people together. The woman leaned forward. That is ambitious. But can you prove that there's enough demand in your area? That people will come? The question cut, exposing a vulnerability he hadn't anticipated. Jamal's palms dampened. The demand is there. We just need the right approach. I can show you. He paused, feeling more alive than ever. Let us host events, community discussions, affordable coffee, and conversations where we can network and share ideas. In that moment, Mr. Anderson's expression shifted. Was it admiration? He turned to his fellow investors. I think we have a lot to consider. Jamal, you've given us a lot to think about. We need to see this in action. The wave of anticipation surged in the room. Jamal caught the glimmer in Mr. Anderson's eyes, a flicker of belief. But as quickly as it appeared, another thought rushed in. What if they still didn't get it? Just then, the conference room door opened, and a young girl with a bright smile peeked in. Jamal's heart leaped. Lena, one of his café's newest young interns, waved enthusiastically. Mr. Jamal, we're hosting the bake sale today for the neighborhood soup kitchen. It's amazing. At that moment, whatever doubt remained slipped away. The eyes of the panel turned to the girl, whose innocent excitement spoke volumes that data and projections could not. Jamal realized the stakes were more significant than he'd anticipated. This wasn't just about a cafe. It was about legacy. Could he truly pull the community together to create lasting change? As hope swelled within him, the question lingered. What would it take to turn this vision into reality? And the untamed energy of infinity lay just beyond reach. Lena bounded into the room, her energetic presence casting away the thick tension that had lingered. The sunbeams spilling through the windows caught the vibrant colors of her dress, matching the light in her eyes. Jamal felt his heart skip. This was the pure, unfiltered joy he wanted to foster in his cafe. Can I come in? She asked, glancing between the panelists and Jamal. Her enthusiasm radiated like warmth from a cozy cafe on a chilly day. Jamal nodded, waving her over. Of course. Come tell them about our plans. Without hesitation, Lena stepped forward, her small hands gesturing animatedly. We're going to make cookies and cakes, and we have a whole bunch of exciting activities lined up. The kids will love it. And all the money we raise will go to help feed families in our neighborhood. The reactions from the panel were immediate. A subtle softening in their expressions. Curiosity mixed with admiration flickered in Mr. Anderson's eyes, like the first light of dawn chasing away the night. Lena continued, undeterred by the serious atmosphere. And we'll have live music. Some local musicians are joining us, people who just want to let the community know they're here. It'll be like a party but for a good cause. Jamal's chest swelled with pride. This was a display of what he envisioned for his cafe. A center for unity, creativity, and purpose. It was more than just coffee. It was about lifting each other up. Mr. Anderson leaned forward, intrigued. And how do you plan to reach people in the community? How will you ensure this event is a success? Jamal glanced at Lena. We're already spreading the word through schools, community centers, and social media. People want to support local causes. They want to be involved. He could feel a flame of passion igniting in his voice, driven by the little girl in front of him who believed in this vision wholeheartedly. The woman in red glasses gave an approving nod. When you combine effort from young people like her with your vision, it can create a real ripple effect. Encouraged, Jamal continued, that's just the beginning. I also want to host workshops that teach culinary skills, not just for fun, but to offer real job training. That way we can support those who seek employment, to show them there's more out there. The panel members exchanged impressed looks. This wasn't just an idea anymore, it was a movement. And if you get the right funding, one of the other panelists asked aloud. What could that look like? Jamal took a deep breath. We could open a bigger cafe space where we can host larger events, bring in more artists, and create a safe haven for kids after school. This can be a hub of hope, somewhere everyone feels welcomed. Just then a soft knock came at the door. A few more of his cafe team members peeked in, their expressions eager as they caught the energy of the room. With Lena beside him, Jamal suddenly felt more than ready. He was prepared to fight for this dream, to reach deeper into the community's potential. But would the investors' faith stand strong enough to help them achieve it? Mr. Jamal, let me ask you this, Mr. Anderson said, leaning back, eyes fixed keenly on Jamal. If we give you this opportunity, what will success look like to you 1 year from now? As Jamal opened his mouth to answer, the weight of that question settled deep into his heart. He could already envision countless faces brightening as they sipped on their coffee, shared their stories, and dreamed together. Would they dare to dream with him? Or would the hope he felt fizzle out like a candle extinguished? He took a deep breath, ready to respond, but just before he could speak, a loud crash echoed from the cafe below. The momentary shock jolted him, replaced by a quick pulse of dread. What now? Jamal's heart raced as he exchanged quick glances with Lena. The joyful atmosphere shattered for a moment, leaving only tension and uncertainty in its wake. He stood frozen, the question he was preparing to answer lost in the swirl of panic. From the corner of his eye, he noticed the panelists' expressions shift, concern darkening their features. What was that? Lena whispered, her voice barely above a murmur. I don't know, Jamal replied, forcing his feet to move. He gestured for the panelists to stay put. Stay here. I'll check it out. Pushing through the door, he hurried down the narrow staircase. The cafe was still bustling with morning patrons, the aroma of fresh coffee lingering heavy in the air. But now chaos reigned as mugs rattled and chairs scraped loudly against the floor. At the corner of the cafe, he found the source of the noise. A table had toppled over, sending a few customers diving out of the way. Jamal's stomach dropped. He could hardly believe his eyes. A young teenager, no older than 16, was attempting to right the table with a flurry of wild movements. His face flushed with embarrassment and fear. Hey, are you okay? Jamal called out, rushing to the scene. The teenager looked up, eyes wide, quickly preparing to apologize but finding his words caught in his throat. I am sorry, I didn't mean to. It's okay, just take a breath, Jamal reassured him, kneeling beside the table. He motioned for the boy to help him lift it. Fortunately, they managed to set it back upright with minimal fuss. Thanks, the boy said, glancing nervously around the cafe. I just got a little clumsy. I thought I saw someone drop something, and well, I don't worry about it. Accidents happen, Jamal replied lightly, masking his concern. Can I get you some coffee on the house? The boy blinked in utter surprise, his shoulders relaxing just a bit. Really? That would be awesome. I didn't mean to mess up your place. Let us get you that coffee then, Jamal said, trying to bring the comfort back into the air. He felt the weight of the panelists' scrutiny looming behind him. Yet he remained focused on this boy, someone battling their own internal chaos. As they moved toward the counter, Jamal noticed glimpses of support from other customers, small smiles and encouraging nods. It felt like a swirl of community, reminding him of the very reason he wanted his cafe to exist. Once at the counter, Jamal poured the boy a steaming cup, black with a dash of cream, just the way he liked it, simple yet fulfilling. Here you go. Enjoy. Thanks, mister. The boy began, as if uncertain how to address him. Jamal. Just call me Jamal. Thanks, Jamal. I'm Ty. I've seen your signs about the fundraisers. Sounds cool. Yeah, we're really excited about it. You should come by and check it out. We do love your support. Ty's expression shifted, a spark of inspiration igniting in his eyes. Really? I could help out, if you need volunteers or anything. The warmth of Ty's enthusiasm struck Jamal like a ray of sunlight, rekindling the hope he was struggling to keep alive. Absolutely. We do love that. Let us chat about what ways you can get involved. As they walked back toward the panel room together, Jamal felt a renewed sense of purpose. This wasn't just about coffee or snacks, it was about people coming together. It was about enthusiasm thriving even in chaos. Just then, the door to the meeting room opened. The panelists, intrigued by the noise, peeked their heads out just in time to see Jamal and Ty, the latter holding his coffee as if it was precious treasure. "What's going on?" Mr. Anderson inquired, a slight grin emerging as he noticed the commotion. Jamal met his gaze with newfound confidence, ready to address the panel again. "Nothing that can't be fixed. Just a little hiccup with a new friend here." But before Jamal could elaborate, the sound of laughter and chatter resonated from the café, pulling everyone's attention. An unexpected energy filled the space, and Jamal sensed the momentum shifting. Could this community connection be the turning point he needed to solidify their purpose? As Ty shared his enthusiasm with the panelists, Jamal's heart brimmed with the realization that sometimes hope appears in the most unexpected forms. What more could this budding friendship between them create? The café erupted in laughter, an infectious wave of joy washing over the crowd. Jamal, still holding onto Ty's shoulder, turned to witness the spark that had ignited the room. A group of regular customers, a trio of elderly women, and a couple of teenagers had somehow concocted a game of charades right in front of the counter. The unplanned entertainment made the atmosphere even lighter, and Jamal felt a smile creeping onto his face. It was as if the chaos had melted away, replaced by a warm camaraderie. Jamal didn't realize just how much he needed this moment until it unfolded before him. Watching Ty interact with the panelists filled him with pride. The boy exuded a youthful enthusiasm that contrasted sharply with the stress Jamal had carried into this morning. "See, this is what I mean about the community," Jamal said, motioning toward the laughter. "Everyone comes together here." Mr. Anderson laughed, his tension momentarily forgotten. "You've got a magic touch, Jamal. Events like this, they're what make a cafe feel like home." Encouraged by the ease of the conversation, Jamal turned toward Ty. "So what do you think? Ready to throw your hat into the ring as our newest volunteer?" Ty didn't hesitate. "Absolutely. I've got some ideas. I mean, if you think I could actually help." "Definitely. The more the merrier," Lena chimed in, her earlier apprehension fading as she joined them. This place could use a fresh perspective. Jamal felt a rush of excitement. Ideas began to bubble in his mind, potential collaborations swirling like the steam rising from Ty's cup. He could see the community coming together, lifting each other up, creating something bigger than themselves. "What kind of experience do you have?" Jamal asked Ty, genuinely curious. He envisioned the teen running events, even sharing his creativity with the local kids. "I help organize a few things at my school," Ty replied. "We did a fundraiser last fall. I guess I like rallying people together." "Perfect. That's exactly what we need." Jamal's enthusiasm was palpable now, matching Ty's. This was a chance to build something real. Not just another fundraiser, but a community event that could touch lives. A distant sound caught Jamal's attention. It was the abrupt shrill of a siren outside, an unsettling reminder that life didn't pause for moments of joy. The laughter faded momentarily as heads turned toward the window. He noticed frowns replace smiles, a cloud of uncertainty floating back. "Let us not let that bring us down," Jamal said, trying to redirect the mood. "Instead, let us plan something fun. How about a summer block party? Food, games, music, you name it." Ty's eyes brightened. "That sounds amazing. I could get some of my friends to help and maybe even set up some cool games. My cousin plays guitar, he could perform." Jamal's heart surged at the idea. "That's it. Let us do this together. We can create something special that brings everyone out of their worries for a day." As they wove their plans, the siren's wail faded into the backdrop. Jamal leaned into the warmth of hope blooming between him and Ty, realizing their combined efforts held the promise of something transformative. But just as Jamal was beginning to feel anchored in this moment, the cafe's door swung open, and a figure stepped inside, one that sent a ripple of shock through the room. Every head turned as whispers buzzed like bees. The newcomer had a presence that commanded attention, and Jamal's heart sank. Who was this person? And what did they want? "Can I help you?" Jamal asked, his voice steady despite the unease churning in his stomach. As the figure stepped closer, Jamal couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of something he hadn't anticipated. What could possibly unfold next? The cafe fell into a hush, the vibrant energy siphoned away by the imposing figure. With confident strides, the newcomer stepped fully into the light, revealing a tall woman with sharp features and a commanding presence. Her hair was a cascading wave of dark curls, and she wore a sleek black blazer atop a crisp white blouse. Jamal couldn't help but feel a mixture of admiration and trepidation as she glanced around the room with a look that seemed to appraise each face. "Excuse me," she said, her voice smooth yet firm. "I'm looking for the owner." "Jamal?" A bead of anxiety trickled down Jamal's spine. How did she know his name? Had he become so well known in these parts that even strangers recognized him? The light laughter and camaraderie faded into an echo, replaced by palpable tension. The patrons shifted uncomfortably, exchanging glances like schoolchildren awaiting the verdict of a principal. "That's me," Jamal finally replied, lifting his chin slightly to meet her gaze. "How can I help you?" "I'm Maya Richards. I've been following the community initiatives you've been running here," she said, her tone now more inquisitive than intimidating. "You're quite popular for someone who just opened a cafe." A warm blush crept onto Jamal's cheeks. "Thank you. I just believe in bringing people together and making this place a home." Maya smiled faintly, a spark of curiosity in her eyes. "That's good to hear. I'm here because I'm interested in investing in local community projects, and yours caught my attention." Investing. The word dropped like a stone in the quiet atmosphere. Jamal felt his heart race, the gravity of her announcement not yet settling in. "Community projects? Is that what you think we are?" he asked, maintaining a brave front against the whirlwind of possibilities swirling in his mind. "Yes," she said, stepping closer. "But it's more than that. I've studied how your cafe brings different people together. Businesses like yours can truly change lives and uplift communities. I want to support that." Questions bubbled in Jamal's mind. What did she mean? How much was she willing to invest? The whispers around the cafe returned hushed conversations intermingled with excitement. He glanced at Ty, who was watching with wide eyes, a mix of hope and disbelief etched across his young face. "What kind of support are we talking about?" Jamal finally asked, his voice steadier now, curious but cautious. Maya pulsed with enthusiasm. "I'd like to fund your block party plan, while also providing resources to help expand your community outreach works. I want to partner with you to elevate not just your cafe but the surrounding area." The words filled Jamal with a sense of soaring joy. Yet he felt the weight of disbelief. "Why me?" he asked, vulnerable thoughts slipping through. "Why this little cafe in the middle of nowhere?" Maya's expression softened. "Because I believe in potential and I can see it lighting up right here. But I also see the struggle, how sometimes it takes just a little push to make a big impact." "What do you say?" Jamal's excitement surged, his mind racing with possibilities. What would this mean for Ty's budding ideas? For the community? Could they truly transform lives right here? But just as hope filled his heart, another sound sliced through the moment, the unmistakable ding of a phone, Maya's phone. She glanced down, her expression shifting to concern. "Give me a moment," she said, taking a step away. The tension in the cafe thickened. Jamal could feel every heartbeat pulsing through the room. He exchanged glances with Ty and Lena, the excitement simmering beneath their uncertainty. What was about to spill over? And was this new opportunity everything they needed, or just another fleeting moment that could vanish? As Maya stepped aside, the cafe remained in suspension, each breath held tight. What news awaited her on that phone call? Jamal's heart raced as he watched Maya's face change, the shadow of worry creeping in. The cafe was silent, every eye glued to her, lifting the anticipation to a nearly unbearable level. He could feel his throat tightening. What if this was it? What if her plans hinged on whatever news she was receiving? "Should I?" Ty began, his voice barely above a whisper. "Let her take the call," Jamal replied, though he wasn't sure if he sounded more confident or just desperate. Maya stepped further away from the clamor of the cafe, her body language shifting to an air of urgency. She pulled her phone close to her ear, muttering a soft hello. Jamal's curiosity tugged at him, darting thoughts of what could be happening behind that closed conversation. Lena leaned over, her brow furrowed. "What if it's bad news?" she whispered, her eyes darting anxiously between Jamal and Maya. "I don't know," he replied, shaking his head. "But if it is, we can't let it bring us down. Not now. I just feel like." Ty hesitated. "This could really change everything for us." Jamal nodded, trying to hold on to that glimmer of hope. He glanced at the other customers, who sat in a mixture of anticipation and concern, fingers tapping nervously on tables. They all understood the stakes in this moment, a potential lifeline for the café, a way to pull their community closer together. Maya returned to the group, her expression now oddly resolute. There was a flicker of relief in her eyes, but also a hard edge of determination that he hadn't seen before. "Sorry about that," she said, composing herself in an instant. "It was a work emergency I had to address." "What's the plan then?" Jamal asked, heart pounding. "There's a lot we need to discuss," Maya said, glancing around the cafe. "The first order of business is the block party. I want to make it bigger and better. If we're going to put our foot down as community leaders, it needs to be a celebration of everything this neighborhood stands for. And I want you involved in every step." Jamal felt the spark reignite within him, but he was also cautious. "And how are we going to pull this off? We need to consider resources, volunteers, and what happens if we don't raise enough funds." Maya moved closer, her voice steady. "That's why I'm here. I'll connect you with local vendors, musicians, and even sponsors who believe in our vision. Think of it as a way to not only gather funds but generate enough enthusiasm for ongoing community initiatives." Ty's expression brightened, hope bubbling forth like a wellspring. "We can really do this," he exclaimed, sharing a triumphant glance with Jamal. But a shadow crossed Jamal's face, his mind racing. "And what's the catch? You don't just do this out of goodwill. What's in it for you?" Maya paused, her keen gaze locking onto his, considering her words. "I'm not doing this for nothing. I want to see change here, but I also need to secure a stake in this community. It's a partnership. When the cafe thrives, we all thrive." Thrive. The word left a strange taste on Jamal's tongue. Was it too optimistic? But deep down he yearned for this success, for the chance to create a ripple in the community that reached beyond their little cafe. He took a deep breath, preparing to voice his thoughts about the risks. Just as he opened his mouth, a sudden crash rang through the cafe door, shattering the tender moment. Everyone turned in shock. A group of rowdy teenagers had burst in, laughter trailing behind them, hands full of takeout bags. The spell of seriousness was instantly broken, voices rising in confusion and questions. "Wait, what's going on?" Maya's eyes widened, flicking between Jamal and the unexpected rabble. Jamal felt a mix of dread and curiosity wash over him. Would their vision for community spark or fizzle out amid the chaos? As the teenagers made their way to the counter, Jamal realized that the next few moments might not only test their newfound alliance with Maya, but also challenge their vision of creating unity in this bustling space. What would happen when the chaos of unexpected guests collided with the idealistic dreams they were trying to forge? The teenagers shuffled in, laughter ricocheting off the cafe walls. Jamal's heart sank as they invaded the serene atmosphere, their energy a stark contrast to the serious discussions moments before. He caught Maya's eye. Her expression was a mix of excitement and alarm, so he stepped forward, trying to gauge what was going on. "Hey guys, this is a cafe, not a playground," he called out, forcing a smile to mask the rising tension. One of the teens, a girl with colorful streaks in her hair, flashed him a cheeky grin. "Chill. We're just picking up food." She cradled a large bag, popping a few fries into her mouth while her friends bickered over who got to choose the music. Ty moved to the counter, arms crossed, and Lena sidled next to Jamal. "What do you think? Should we just let them be?" she asked, worry etched in her voice. "Maybe," Jamal said slowly. "But if they start causing trouble, hey, you all need to order or leave." Maya called out suddenly, her authoritative voice cutting through the chatter. It was a welcome change from the uncertainty earlier. These weren't just kids causing chaos. They were children of the neighborhood, and somehow they were part of this too. The laughter quieted, and the group turned to face Maya, a flicker of guilt flaring briefly across some of their faces. "Sorry," the same girl said, though she couldn't hide a grin. "We just thought it was a cool spot. Do you have any good drinks?" Maya shifted her stance, folding her arms confidently. "We have a special today. If you guys can help me spread the word about the block party, I'll let you get a free drink." Surprise etched across their faces. "For real?" one boy asked, stepping forward. His tone carried excitement mixed with skepticism. "We need fresh voices and some positivity. You guys could make this party a blast if you want to get involved," Maya replied, gesturing toward the sprawling cafe. Plus, I'd love some help with promoting it around the neighborhood. How does that sound? A few murmurs passed between the teenagers, and just like that, the mood shifted. They leaned in closer, intrigued. Jamal watched them, hope beginning to bloom. If they could turn this rowdy group into allies, it could transform the vision they had for their community. Suddenly, the outcome didn't feel so uncontrollable. "Okay, we'll do it," the girl with colorful hair said, flashing a playful grin. "But we want the best drinks. And maybe a discount for our friends too?" Maya chuckled, a genuine warmth radiating from her. "Deal. But I want your help to rally more people. It can't just be about the drinks, it has to be about community spirit. Are you in?" "Absolutely," they exclaimed in unison, and an unexpected connection flickered between the bustling teens and the dedicated team at the cafe. As the teenagers placed their orders, the cafe hummed with renewed energy. Jamal smiled, glancing at Maya, who was animatedly chatting with the group now. He felt a surge of optimism. Maybe, just maybe, minutes of chaos had opened a door they never saw coming. But as Jamal stood there, the door swung wide with a sudden gust, sending shivers down his spine. A tall man stepped in, sharply dressed, eyes scanning the room like a hawk. He radiated authority and everyone fell silent. Jamal's stomach twisted. Who was this stranger? Maya turned at the sound of the door, her smile faltering. "What do you need?" she asked, confusion flickering across her features. The man's lips curled into a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "I've been looking for you." A sense of dread washed over Jamal. This was no ordinary visitor. What did he want? Was he somehow connected to their plans? Lena, standing next to him, whispered, "Do you think he knows about the block party? What if this encounter could shift everything they were trying to do?" That single moment hung in the air, and Jamal's heart pounded in rhythm with the tension in the room. What did this stranger hold in store for their dreams? Jamal's instincts kicked in. He felt an urge to protect the space they had fought to create. The tall man surveyed the cafe, a hint of amusement playing on his lips. It sent a chill down Jamal's spine. He was clearly someone used to being in control, and it unnerved him. "Do you need something specific?" Maya asked, her voice steady but her apprehension clear. Jamal admired her courage, but he could see she was bracing for the worst. "Oh, nothing too serious," the man replied, his eyes flicking to the group of teenagers who were now frozen in place, drinks forgotten. "I just have some questions about the block party." There was something about his tone that felt manipulative, like he was toying with them. Jamal opened his mouth to say something but closed it again, biting back the urge. "Questions?" Maya raised an eyebrow, her confidence deepening. "Why would you be interested?" "Let us just say," he said smoothly, "that I have a vested interest in the community." He paused, letting the words hang heavy in the air. "And I don't love the idea of a block party promoting something that doesn't align with my vision." "What does that mean?" Lena stepped forward, voice firm. The other teens shifted uncomfortably but were clearly curious. They didn't want to back down. This was about their community now. "I'm all for bringing people together, but it's essential to ensure that growth is managed properly." He smiled that unsettling smile again. "And that we don't disrupt the order of things." Jamal clenched his fists. Who did this guy think he was? The cafe felt constricting, the room shrinking with every word. "We want to build a better neighborhood," he said, stepping up beside Maya. "No one needs anyone telling them what they should or shouldn't do." The man's gaze locked on Jamal, and for a split second the power dynamic shifted. "And you think a group of kids and a couple of cafe workers can really pull that off? You're dreaming." "But it's our dream," Maya shot back, crossing her arms defiantly. "And we're making it happen with or without you." Jamal felt his heart race in agreement, unity forming among them. The teens, emboldened, chimed in, murmuring their support, each voice an echo of determination stirring in the cafe. "I admire your spirit," the man said, but his smile faded into cool calculation, as if assessing the potential of his next move. "But dreams don't pay the bills. I could help generate some interest with investment, but it comes at a price." "What kind of price?" Lena asked, the skepticism palpable in her voice. The man leaned back a little, evaluating them. "Influence. An advisory role, if you will, all in the name of progress." Jamal's stomach churned at the implications. It felt wrong, like a trap closing in. It was just a block party, meant to bring people together. not to be a platform for power struggles. Maya glanced around at the group, holding the tension in the air. No thank you, she said finally, her voice firm. This is community-driven. We're creating it from the ground up. The man's eyebrow raised, curiosity sparking. You might regret this decision, he said. But Jamal could see the glimmer of surprise. Regret? Or embrace? Jamal shot back, adrenaline surging through him, lighting a fire in his veins. We're doing this and we're not backing down. The quiet murmur among the teenagers grew into ripples of excitement, each conversation a step forward in their conviction. Suddenly, the man's demeanor changed, his smile fading into disappointment. You'll see, everyone pays a price eventually. He turned, striding toward the door, and with a final look, he stepped back into the bustling street, his presence lingering like ice in the air. Jamal felt a weight lift, but uncertainty hung just as heavy. Would they truly be able to pull off this celebration without a new kind of interference? As the cafe resumed its lively atmosphere, Jamal exchanged glances with Maya and Lena. Hope flickered like the sunlight outside, but a nagging fear settled in as he glanced at where the man had been standing. This wasn't over. They could feel it in their bones. What would be the fallout of their defiance? Would they have the strength to stand together against whatever was coming next? Jamal's heart raced, but exhilaration thrummed in his veins too. They had just stood up to a force that threatened to dim their dreams. He could feel the weight of his community on his shoulders, the support of Ty, Lena, and all the customers who believed in what this cafe could become. Are you all okay? Jamal asked, scanning the faces around him. The tension that had enveloped them began to lift, replaced by whispers of determination. Yep, that guy was a creep, Ty said, his youthful bravado shining through. We don't need him to tell us how to celebrate our community. Exactly, Lena chimed in, her resolve blossoming. We're doing this for us. We get to choose how we uplift our neighborhood. A chorus of agreement rose from the teenagers. They weren't just patrons in a cafe, they were the heartbeat of that community. Jamal felt a swell of gratitude. It was their collective spirit that would rise above any dark clouds lurking on the horizon. Then let's regroup, Jamal said, a bright spark igniting within him. Let us keep the momentum going for the block party. Maya, we need to brainstorm everything we can do to make this a true celebration of our neighborhood. Maya smiled, her confidence reinvigorating Jamal. Yes, we can share our vision widely, make it the event of the year. Let us include everyone. Bring out the talents, food, the heart of our community. Maybe even start a message board where people can share their ideas. Ideas flowed like coffee from a fresh pot. Jamal felt electrified, bouncing off the energy from the group around him. Ty suggested local musicians, creating a stage for those who wanted to be heard. Lena jumped in with plans for kid-friendly activities that would invite families to join in the fun. I can help design flyers, Ty offered with enthusiasm. Everyone will see what's happening and want to be part of it. Before long, the cafe was alive with chatter, laughter, and plans coming together. The seniors were pitching in too, offering recipes and cooking classes for the baking competition. The teenagers promised to rally their friends. In that moment, the cafe began to transform from a simple meeting space into a hub of ambition and love. Suddenly, the cafe door swung wide again, and this time it wasn't just rowdy teens. A group of neighbors stepped in, eyebrows raised with curiosity. They wandered closer as Jamal noticed the familiar faces. Are we too late? One woman asked, excitement bubbling in her voice. We heard about the block party. No way, Jamal exclaimed, heart thrumming. You're just in time. We're starting to plan everything now. Within moments, the energy of the cafe grew. Ideas merged and flourished, each exchange sparking more creativity. It became clear. They were creating something much bigger than a block party. They were forging connections between families, artists, and even local businesses. As people rallied around him, Jamal finally understood what success truly looked like. This is it, he shouted above the joyful clamor. This isn't just about our cafe. It's about us all working together for the greater good. We're going to change our neighborhood. All around, heads bobbed in agreement. It was inspiring. Jamal felt the warmth of hope pooling around them like sunlight breaking through the clouds. In the aftermath of challenges, they found strength. Together, they were unstoppable. The sun dipped lower outside, an artist's brushstroke of orange across the sky, as laughter and ideas continued to bounce off the walls. Jamal knew they had to push through whatever obstacles may surface next, including that man's lingering shadow. Who's ready to get this party started? Maya's confident voice called, rallying them from the sidelines. Jamal raised his glass of coffee high, feeling every heartbeat around him. We all are. Together we rise. This community is ready for something extraordinary. As cheers erupted around him, Jamal felt the indelible mark of transformation. His café, a symbol of love and resilience, had evolved into a beacon. The vision was no longer a dream. It was becoming reality. And finally, as the sun set over the neighborhood, Jamal discovered that this wasn't just his journey, it was theirs. They were building a legacy, and every laugh, every sip, every moment shared would leave an everlasting print on the heart of the community. You need to subscribe now to keep following this incredible story of transformation. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help us reach more people with this inspiring message. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this empowering ending. Don't wait not even one more second. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support means everything.